everybody, to WTL. That's Where's the Line, Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Ian D. Klassen, joined by
Jabron.
the Parlay Pounder.
You got it. You got it.
Now, we talked a little NFL. We got to get back into the NFL. It's the playoffs.
Yeah, it's the playoffs. These are the marquee matchups that everybody wants to see. I can't wait for this weekend. It's going to be so fun.
Yes, it is. So let's start with the big one. A lot of eyeballs are going to be on this. Two huge fan bases here.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the Packers. They're heading down to Jerry World to take on the 12-5 Dallas Cowboys. That's a 3:30 kickoff on Fox. And the Cowboys are over a touchdown favorite. This line's at 7.5. I like the Cowboys here, but do I like them by more than a touchdown, Jabron?
Yeah, no, I think this is very inflated, Andy, off of a game that, they just overmatched Washington. Washington had no chance being in that game against the Cowboys. If anybody just remembers the couple weeks before that, Dallas hadn't cracked 20 points in 3 consecutive games prior to that. They certainly need to, get into the end zone a few times in order to have some breathing room around this scrappy Packers team.
Yeah, scrappy's a good way to put it. Being a Bears fan, I don't like what I'm seeing as far as quarterback development goes from Jordan Love. That total's at 44.5. Much like that point spread, hasn't moved a lot at all. Green Bay has smacked the over 6 of the last games. Will the over go here at 44.5?
I think it might, Andy. I really do. I think that, the Packers have what it takes to kind of, put some points on the Cowboys. They managed 24 first downs and 432 total yards, 300 of them passing against a rival Bears team that has a pretty dang good defense, I would say, Andy. Like you said, for the Packers, though, it's been kind of a white knuckle right along, home stretch for the Packers. But I really like them getting over a touchdown here, Andy. I believe that the Cowboys could win this, but it would not surprise me. Upset alert for the Packers here.
Oh, man. A lot of models that I'm looking at really has Dallas winning by more than that touchdown. So that's why the odds makers, the cappers, are trying to keep it around that touchdown number there. What you see from Dallas tells you they probably should be able to get them, especially at home. But I'm kind of with you here. I like the way Green Bay's playing.
Yeah, I really do, Andy. Like you said, the defense seems like it's been very much improved. And like you said, Jordan Love has been playing really, really good for the Packers this last half of the season. One player prop that I do want to throw out there, Andy, Micah Parsons over half a sack is sitting there at minus 110 right now. That should be way inflated. It should be like a minus 250 bet. Micah Parsons to get a sack, minus 110. I believe he gets that. He's going to be balling out.
You've been smashing, hammering those player props. How could you go against that? And yeah, this line opened up at 7.5, and it has stayed right there. Should we move on to Sunday night?
Let's do it.
I have a lot of Detroit Lion fans that are buddies of mine, and they are terrified, and I think they should be. The Los Angeles Rams are coming to Detroit. Detroit's hosting their first playoff game in a very long time, and they are a 3-point on that key number of 3. A 3-point favorite. That's Sunday night, 7 o'clock, NBC kickoff. And oh, by the way, a quarterback is making his return to Detroit, a pretty good one that left and then won a Super Bowl that following year.
Yeah, Andy, this is crazy. Like, we thought that Tyreek returning to the Chiefs might be the biggest story of the weekend. It's not. This is definitely the biggest one. Like you said, Stafford coming back in Detroit. Detroit hosting its, trying to win its first playoff game in 40 years or whatever it is. The thing that I look at, Andy, when I'm looking at this game, the Rams enter this matchup fully healthy on offense, Andy. Wow. Nobody's banged up. Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams, all of them are ready to go. Stafford is ready to go. I just believe when they're in the lineup, they're kind of a juggernaut this season, Andy.
Yeah.
And they're just going to score. They're just going to score, especially on this suspect Detroit Lions team.
Nacua has shown you more than enough that he can be a number one. We know about Cooper Kupp, and when he's healthy, he's a difference maker. And the Rams, have been a machine, a covering machine. 6 of the last 7 games they have covered, and in their way is a Detroit team. Feel good story. I like what they've been able to do, but the storybook might end here at home once again for the Lions.
Yeah, and it really, really stinks. Sorry for the Lions because they have huge playmakers on their side of the ball with
Yeah.
Amon St. Brown, Jameer Gibbs, David Montgomery. The one that they're likely going to be missing this week is that rookie tight end Sam Laporta, which has been one of the best players in the NFL. So I really think that's a huge blow for them. I like the Rams getting points, man.
I do too, catching those points. Even though they're on the road, they're healthy. That's a huge determining factor. Okay, let's look at Monday night.
Yeah.
You knew it had to happen. There's always a home dog in the playoffs, and here it is. The Philadelphia Eagles are traveling to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers, where the Bucs are a 3-point dog. Is that fair, Jabron?
Yeah, no, I think I'm flipping exactly what I said on the last game. I believe the Bucs should be favored in this game, Andy.
Wow.
Philadelphia has been taking games off as of late. I don't believe they are playing their best football going into this, and I really think the Buccaneers kind of got a little chip on their shoulder. Baker Mayfield starting to feel good, Andy. I like their offensive weapons, and their defense kind of just does what it needs to keep them in games.
Yeah, I've always liked the grittiness of old Baker Mayfield. And yeah, what happened to the Eagles here? And they have not been covering. They have not covered the last 6 games. They used to be, last year, they were a great bet to at least cover. This year, down the stretch when it matters most, where have the Eagles been?
Yeah, it's been crazy, Andy. And I lost a bunch of money on the Eagles last week because I just thought that they would roll the New York Giants, but it just didn't happen. And you got that feeling that anytime Jalen Hurts feels like he can turn it around, he should be able to.
Yeah.
I'm not sold that's happening. The Bucs defense really stepped up last game. I think they're going to make it hard on the Eagles offense. Hurts is going to continue to turn the ball over, and that is going to be the difference in this game. I think the Bucs win this game. I think they cover the 3, though. I think they win, though, Andy.
I didn't want to say it.
Taking home a playoff victory.
Oh, I love that. I didn't want to say it. A lot of the point predictors, scoring models actually have Tampa Bay winning this by about 4.5 points. So it's very curious that the line actually has the Eagles as favorites. And by the way, Tampa Bay has been covering for the last 5 games against the spread they have. And you mentioned the defense of the Buccaneers. Husker shout out, Levante David. I think it was like his 15th season in a row with over 100 tackles, still getting it done.
Still one of the best in the league. Love Levante. He's the man.
How about real quick that total at 44?
Yeah, Andy, I do think it's probably going to go over. I think that, the Bucs get a couple early touchdowns here, and the Eagles are going to have to try and play a little catch-up. So I do believe it hits the over. I think it's a little low for these 2 caliber teams.
All right. Well, we've waited all show long. You are the parlay pounder.
Yeah.
Jabron, do you got a parlay play for the people?
It's wild card weekend, and I have to go with my position, wide receiver. I'm calling this the wide receiver number 1 parlay. I got Stephon Diggs of the Buffalo Bills will have over 5.5 receptions. I got number 1 receiver Cooper Kupp of the Rams will have over 5.5 receptions. And then to round it out, I'm talking about my guy from the Buccaneers, Mike Evans, will have over 4.5 receptions. You put all 3 of these together, $25 will win you $125.
Man, you've been hammering the player props. Now you're letting that player prop get its way into your parlays as well.
You got to. I love it. I love these 3 receivers. And if these teams want to win this weekend, they're going to hang heavy on these guys. So I love the catches. They're going to be targeted a lot this weekend.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense, even though that receiver swagger never really leaves a guy, does it?
It does not. It's the way that we're made and the way that we will continue to live.
I have no arguments. I know what type of receiver you were, and the guys you mentioned there, I think they can accomplish that. 25 to win what?
125.
Nice. Gotta love those odds as well.
Love it.
That'll about do it for us this week, folks. Be sure to follow us on ESPN Tri-Cities, Radio and their Facebook page. Also, our Twitter and YouTube channel. Just look us up, WTL Sports Betting. We're right there, and those two channels, mediums, are expanding. Maybe not faster than the universe, but right there, right behind it.
Right there with it. Can't wait.
And then you're also holding down some picks, some daily picks over on TikTok?
For sure. Make sure that you check in on WTL on TikTok before primetime games, especially NFL. We love getting a player prop or two out there along with parlays as well. So make sure you check us out at WTL on TikTok.
For Jabron, the Parlay Pounder, I'm Andy Klassen. Thank you for listening. This has been WTL.